everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back for another brand new video. Today's video we will be discussing the Rangers AGM. Now as you can imagine there was so much to talk about, so it's not going to be all addressed in today's video, but we will be discussing more on the Rangers roundup. So if you see a topic that wasn't discussed, don't worry, that will be uploaded later on in the week as usual. So yeah, let's just jump right into today's video. It's going to be absolutely crazy. If you don't mind subscribing to the channel, that'd be absolutely tremendous. You can check our progress right there. Our channel is going tremendously well. Let's keep that positivity. If you haven't done so already, please consider doing so. And yeah, let's get into it, shall we? 3, 2, 1. Now, if I'm being 100% honest with you, I wasn't really sure what I was actually going to speak about in today's video and what I'm going to speak later on in the week, but then the question was asked, and it was all about Lee Wallace. So you just knew it was going to be here. We finally have some answers. We've been searching for them, and now we finally have them. A Rangers supporter stood up and asked Steven Gerrard directly about the treatment of Lee Wallace, even calling it disgusting, the fact that he stayed with us many, many years, and the way that he's getting treated was, in quotes, disgusting. Now, I'm going to stop right there, because I honestly thought that was Ross Watson that asked that. Maybe it was. Never thought about that. It could have been. But anyway, Steven Gerrard actually addressed this directly. Now, as always, whenever I speak about someone's direct quotes, I just read them out, because I usually get everything wrong, so let's play it safe. Now, Gerrard did respond to the Lee Wallace comments by saying, "As the manager of this club, and I have been in since June, I came into a situation with Lee Wallace. He was out injured and had missed 12 months of football. I have to pay my respects to Lee in terms of his professionalism. While he's been injured and the hard work he's put in trying to get match fit. But at the moment, to be really candid, he's still part of the plans while he's here. But I have better options in that position. My relationship with Lee is fine. He trains hard with us every day and he is working very hard to regain his place into the team. That is where the situation is." Now, he didn't actually say on, but the rest of it, he did 100% say. Now, what's your thoughts on that now that you know the backing of Lee Wallace? Why isn't he playing? Because there was so much. Was he injured? Was it because it's something to do with the club and his court battles? No. He's working hard to get fit, and now he is training hard with us every day. But we just have better players in that position. It's blunt, but it's straight to the point. And also, Lee Wallace will obviously hear about this, and maybe that's more of a challenge to step up in training. Do you think it's all over for Lee Wallace? The biggest sort of thing in that entire quote for me personally is he said that he's still a part of my plans while he's here. He's gone in January. That's what I'm thinking anyway. But what is your thoughts? Make sure you let me know on story number 1. The next one is going to be extremely short and sweet, but very important, as Dave King has confirmed there will be no U-turn on the Celtic ticket allocation. Now, that is something that was being addressed on this channel this week. Everyone's had their say in the comment section. I respect both sides of it. Some people want to see it restored. Some people just say F it and F them. I completely understand both sides of things and I will respect everyone's opinion. But Dave King stood up. He said it. He's answered it. He won't bow down to the press. Won't bow down to law. Definitely no. And obviously won't bow down to Celtic's demands either. There will be no U-turn ticket allocation. The next thing that Dave King actually addressed was a part of the commercial deal. He spoke on a lot in depth, talking about how the new partnerships that came in, how it's a much healthier bank balance. There's better deals on the table now for the Glasgow Rangers. But there is one company that continues to drag the heel and one company that continues to just be shit. And that is none other than, guess who? It's Sports Direct. That's right, Rangers versus Sports Direct. Dave King versus Ashley. It's not over yet, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as Dave King actually branded Mike Ashley and Sports Direct as a bully, as they're trying their bullying tactics to force their way back into the club. It's all about the money for Sports Direct. They know if they sign with Rangers, they get the commercial deal, they will get so much cash from the loyal Rangers fans, and that's what they continue to force. But Dave King says he will continue to fight. He also reflected back on the previous court cases, talking about Sports Direct's bullying tactics of forcing emergency court hearings, blah blah blah, throwing so much information at them that they can't process it on time, and they're just sort of making decisions on half-arsed knowledge, which again is pretty ballsy to come out there and say that. And also any with that we continue to fight on with Sports Direct, which brought a massive response from the crowd. So it looks like the Rangers versus Sports Direct case isn't going anywhere anytime soon. I was just thinking actually, see between all these little stories, can you put like a cool transition in there? That way it looks professional, no tin pot. Cheers. Dave King has revealed his Man of the Year, and before I reveal to it who it is, in case you don't know, who do you think was Dave King's Man of the Year? I'll give you a few seconds in the comment section below. This would have surprised me. It is none other than Graham Murty. No, I'm not kidding. It's Graham. Now, eating zippers aside and doing headstands, Dave King actually broke it down. It was actually a really, really classy speech. I was going to poke fun at it because, you know what I mean, I always try and have a laugh and try and make you laugh with wee silly jokes, but this one was just pure class for Dave King. It addressed the situation that both times that Murty came into the club, it was when the club was in disarray, struggling on and off the field. The fans demanded a manager, the media demanded a manager, but they were giving Graham Murty, and it wasn't always easy for Murty, but he continued to try and work hard, and it wasn't the job that he necessarily wanted at the start. I know he did want it towards the end, but he was thrown into the situation both times by Dave King, and I think he always tried his best. When he wasn't given the job permanently, there was a clear disappointment, but Murty was big enough and a man enough to say, okay, I respect that decision, and yes, I will accept the decision to go back to the youth academy, my previous posts and work there. Dave King, very, very classy. On the Murty situation, and what's your thoughts on that? Dave King's man of the year is none other than Graham the Headstand Murty. Now, the next topic that Dave King spoke about was actually really surprising because I didn't expect it, if I'm being 100% honest. It was the women's football team for Glasgow Rangers. They talked about how they're trying to fix the unbalanced progress between the men's football team and the women's football team, trying to obviously get it more level, and also announced that he has trebled the financial backing and obviously going to be focusing more and more on the women's side of thing as well. So what's your instant reaction to that? Do you think it's a good thing to see both teams succeeding? I know they've been struggling a little bit in the league recently. I keep up to date with them on Twitter, which is obviously a wee bit disappointing. You want them to always be challenging. You want, as long as you're wearing the Rangers badge, you want to be winning, so that'd be great if they can get back to what they were doing previous years. But what's your thoughts on that? Make sure to let me know in the comment section below. Now, the next two subjects will be extremely long, so I do warn you, but it's something I found extremely interesting. This was one of my favourite things that I actually got from the Dave King speech at the AGM. I was talking about the Youth Academy, how much transformation it's made in the 3 years since Dave King's actually took over. He talked about this in great length, to be honest with you. This was the biggest part that he focused on, and quite rightly so. I think it's something to be extremely proud of when you're producing and sort of focusing on the youth players to develop them. It's not just like a secondary thought. You're not just going to buy all your players like you see some clubs doing, like especially down south. They just don't care about the youth players. Rangers are actually focusing on developing players, and even if it's not quite for it, Glasgow Rangers, they're still developing them and helping the community out, and they obviously focused on that. There were some crazy stats. One of the best ones I found was the fact that they had done an independent audit with a Belgian company that does audits for the EPL, some of the biggest clubs in European football, and Rangers out of 100 scored 88% for their academy, which is by far the biggest not only in Scotland, but comparing to other European clubs at Rangers' size is significantly higher than most, which is something to be extremely, extremely proud of. Another great stat was the fact that 32 youth players at the Glasgow Rangers from under 16 to under 21 has been called up to play international football. That is unbelievable. That is nearly double what it was before Dave King actually took over the club, and the revamps, the youth academy, the new infrastructure put in place with the youth manager, the coaches that's been brought in. Tremendous, tremendous job. I want to give a special mention to them. And didn't take my word for it, even Dave King, this was something I absolutely loved as well. They just name dropped some teams that the youth academies actually bet. They bet Bayern Munich, Valencia, Villarreal. They've drew with Man City's youth team, Man United's youth team that's got crazy money in their team. Some of the boys are on 30-40 grand a week that we're playing, and yet we're getting a draw with them. We're beating the likes of Bayern Munich. Great work from the youth academy, every single person. They shouted at Craig Mulholland as well, Graham Murty for his great job there, and even Mark Allen for using his experience from his previous club, which was obviously Man City, sort of developing the youth team. So again, that might be boring to some of you, but I found this very, very interesting, and it obviously sets us up well for the future. Young Bears doing well. Now, there was a lot of other good things that I could spend longer and longer talking about, but there's one thing I want to address at the end of this video, which I think a lot of you would be interested in. It'd be the change in the way that we actually sign players. The previous years with the scouting department, we looked for talent, which may seem obvious to you. You just want the best players, but we're signing boys that just couldn't handle the pressure of playing at Ibrox. That was clear to see. Look at last season's home form. They just could not perform under the Rangers spotlight. Now, Dave King, Mark Allen discussed it in length, and Dave King trusted Mark Allen, who had a radical idea on a new transfer scheme in the way that they're actually going to sign people, was not just looking at talent. Talent's obviously important, but what they are up here, the mental side of things. What they're like on and off the park. Their character will play a massive part in what they are able to do, and that is what they've shifted. The character and the mentality is one of the biggest focus now, which maybe seems a wee bit obvious, but clearly in the past that's not been. Just look at some of the people we've signed and we're still paying out on loan. That's a couple of question marks for their character. And I think if you compare this season's signings to last season's, you can see a clear difference in the mentality. You hear a lot from Steven Gerrard how hungry they are in training. Every single person's there on time, working hard. He has to drag some of them off at the end of the training just to get them off the field because they're continually working. That wasn't there last year, and the results showed that. But this season, under the new manager, and obviously under Mark Allen's new transfer strategy, you can see the benefits, and that's only going to get better and better and better. And obviously done something pretty nicely as well. He addressed last season they didn't sign enough players before the European qualifiers, and that cost them. So he confirmed that from now on, obviously this season he's shown that as well, that Rangers will sign early and often. When the players are there, they will be there. Mark Allen and Steven Gerrard will be identifying the players early, so when the transfer window opens, they will go out and get them so they're ready for not only the European qualifiers, but domestically as well, because sometimes we've been huffing and hawing and waiting towards 3 or 4 games into the season. That is not going to happen anymore. And you know what? That is a perfect place to end today's video right there. I apologise if this video is a wee bit muttered. I tried to keep these updated as much as possible. What I did miss, I will address later on in the week as well. So hope you did enjoy it. If you don't mind hitting that like button, that would be absolutely tremendous. And also, special shout out to William, who recently joined the Patreon. We are now up to 33, which has gone a massive way to helping improving the quality in the camera. Thank you so much, you absolute legends. If you would like to help support the channel, the link to the Patreon will be in the description below. I've been CJ over 92. Thanks so much for watching, and bye-bye.